Saints, greetings everywhere you're watching right now. I just want to say welcome to you all. This is your host today, Apostle Amos Mapanda. I just want to teach you quickly about something that is very important. In just a few minutes I'll be done, because this is something that you ought to understand. The Bible says in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us. In other words, there is a way the enemy can get advantage of you and me. The Bible says, for we are not ignorant of his devices. In other words, there is a way that the devil can take advantage of us as Christians, as individuals. It is because we will be ignorant of certain things that he actually is manipulating us or taking advantage of us. Because if we don't know something, the enemy has got an advantage of taking advantage of what we don't know. So the Bible is saying, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Child of God, I don't want you to be ignorant of certain devices that the enemy is using. There are 6 devices that I want just to go through quickly with you, because I want to tell you the devices the enemy can use. So right now, before we waste much time, let's get straight into it right now. Right, number one thing that you need to understand if the enemy is taking advantage of you is you encounter nightmares, especially dreams involving snakes, dogs, all those things that are very demonic. You'll be encountering them. Sometimes you'll see yourself eating in the dreams. So number one, the manipulation the enemy can use, the device the enemy can use, or the schemes or the plans the enemy can use is via your dreams. The enemy can enter into your dreams, especially dreams that involve snakes, even those that involves terrible nightmares. So that is the first thing that you must take note, because whilst a man sleeps, the enemy invades. Jesus even told his disciples that while men slept, the enemy came in and he planted things that were not right. So sometimes you actually get into a place where the enemy is manipulating you through dreams. So number 2 things that you need to know as well, that you are under this demonic attack. The devices the enemy can use is misfortunes and unexplained losses. Many of you have suffered many losses. You don't even know what is happening in your life. You have suffered innumerable losses, and you are not certain and you are not sure what exactly is going on with you. You try to do something, it doesn't work. You try to do a project, it doesn't work. You can give people advice and their things can work, but your own things are not working. Child of God, that's one of the devices the enemy can use, manipulating things, manipulating the goodness that must be coming out in your direction. The other third thing that you need to understand, which is number 3, is excessive anger, rage and resentment, and even irritation. What is Apostle Mapanda saying? I just want you to understand this. Excessive anger is not a good thing. Sometimes you encounter a minor thing that can be dealt with diplomatically, but you end up becoming more angry. Rage will actually be a portion of you. Even resentment and irritation. There are many people out there who get irritated over small things. They get irritated over minor things. They get irritated over very small things. So I want you to take note of that, because these are the things that the enemy uses. These are the schemes that the enemy uses. You are under the demonic influence if you have negative confessions. That is number 4, negative confessions. I am good as dead. It's a negative confession. I am finished. It's a negative confession. I will never succeed. It's a negative confession. Everyone hates me. It's a negative confession. God never hears my prayers. That's a negative. That's a very negative thing that you'll be speaking. It's a negative confession. You need to refrain from negative confession. Number 5, demons are also influencing what you say. You need to understand these are the schemes the enemy can use. People of God, hear this. We are children of God. We ought not to be ignorant of the devices the enemy is using, because you cannot fight what you don't know. You cannot actually get into a position of defeating the enemy that you don't know how he operates. Number 6, all the time. There are people who get to a point where they regret all the time. They end up getting into regrets. Everything they do, they end up regretting. Evil spirit want you to think that you are not good enough. They want you to think that you are bad in everything that you do. You don't do things in a right way. You make bad decisions. They always put you back to the past. They make you to regret of the time that you lost in the past. They make you to regret of certain things that happened in the past. So this can actually affect or damage your mind and your confidence. It actually affects the way you see things. So the moment when you are regretting all the time, it's a demonic influence. If this is not the last one, I can give you extra more. Number 7, you encounter confusion. Demons may cause confusion. These demonic forces can bring confusion. You are planning something and you discover that you end up becoming confused, that the time when you realize it, you are no longer having the money that you were planning certain things. You feel as if you can't think clearly. You feel as if that you are disoriented. You actually have difficult times in focusing. You can't even focus. You can't even make decisions. It shows that confusion, that demon has actually affected you by bringing confusion in your life. I pray I'm relating to some people right now, because some people are saying, Apostle, when I'm broke, I focus. But when money comes in, I'm confused. Some people might say, Apostle, I don't know what normally happens. I get interviews, but when I get to the job, I get confused. Apostle, I get into an examination room knowing everything, but when the question paper comes in to write the examination, it is gone. I don't have anything that will be with me at that point in time. I will not even recognize anything at that point in time. So number 7 that you need to take note also is the tendency to draw towards evil. You are attracted to evil. You are attracted to bad things. You always draw yourself. So instead of you focusing on the things of God, you are always magnifying the bad things that are happening around you. So you are drawn towards the evil things, not the good things. So waking up every day, you are not thanking God about the gift of life. You are complaining about the things that are missing in your life. That's a tendency of being drawn towards evil. So we need to actually wake up in the morning and say, this is the day that the Lord has made. No matter your circumstance, no matter your situation, you are actually defeating that demonic force. You know the devices of the enemy. The enemy will make you to look at a fault. The enemy will make you to look at mistakes. Not even on good things. It makes you to look at mistakes. Number 8 thing that you need to understand is unexplainable illnesses. There are some people who are actually encountering unexplainable sicknesses. They get to a point where they just fall sick unaware. They get into a point where they just fall sick. They don't even understand how this thing happens, but sick all of a sudden. And number 9, sudden body pains. You just hear pain from nowhere. Some demonic arrows which are released from the altars of the enemy. When they are stuck on you, you feel pain. Some people, they use what we call voodoo dolls. When they design a doll and call your name on that demonic doll, if they punch on the head, you will have a headache wherever you can be. So these are devices the enemy can use. These are some of the devices the enemy can use. I can give you the 10th one quickly. Giving up. Many people, especially on God's promises, they end up giving up. These are devices the enemy can use. These are the devices the enemy can use. You need to know this. You need to understand this. You need actually to get an understanding of going through all these 10 things and try to check where exactly is the enemy holding you. Where exactly the enemy is holding you. I can summarize. I can give you even 6 summarized one. Number 1, distraction. These are the devices the enemy can use. Number 2, pride. These are the devices the enemy can use. Number 3, ignorance. These are the devices the enemy can use. Insecurity and suspicion. These are devices the enemy can use. Offense. You feel offended everywhere you go. These are the devices. I realized there was a person who was offended quickly by a divine helper. Then the person person gave up and said, I will not beg this person, and then wrong agreement. So there are some people who get into wrong agreement as well. The last thing is division. So I pray and I believe that wherever you are watching right now, the Lord is going to help you. In our next teaching, I'll teach you now how to deal with these devices, how to fight these devices. And I pray and I believe that in all these short teachings, you're going to learn something. This is the first criteria that you need to understand. Before we get into a fight over something, let's get to an understanding of how these demonic forces work, because we cannot just fight something that we don't know how it works. So I now believe that whatever that we have said today is going to help somebody. My name is Apostle A. Mapanda. I'm going to meet you again in our next teaching, Deep Revelation. These are series of deep revelation. I'll be teaching you quite a lot of things in these small teachings that will make your life different and your understanding unique. So catch me again in my next teaching. I pray and I believe it will uplift your spirit. The next teaching that is coming in is the teaching where I'll actually be will be dealing with destroying satanic devices. How can we deal with these demonic? How can we come out of these demonic devices, schemes, plans the enemy has put in our lives? How can we come out of it? The Bible says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers them from all. My name is Apostle Mapanda. See you again in our next teaching. Enjoy. Shalom.